Okay, sounds good.
Hello, kids, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. I have Ann LeFlore with me already on the screen. And, excuse me. And we are going to dive into part 13 of the Ann LeFlore on Trust series, but I want to show you guys the website. Let's go right here. It tells you right here, scroll to the bottom for classes and consultations. All you have to do is just get this cursor slider over here, go all the way down, and here's everything you need. Consultations, there's Ann. This is Trust Class C, Trust Class B, which starts tomorrow. Consultation with myself, one with Jesse, one with Pastor Away, one with Dr. K. And that's where it is. Just go to the very bottom, and all you gotta do is just click on one of these. And just click on Ann. And there you go. It shows your calendar where you can schedule 30-minute consultations. Please be aware there are no refunds. Once you schedule this, you better be ready. So do not click if you're not ready. Anyway, that's why.
Guys, we're here to help you fill out your documents. So if you're having issues, arrange a consultation. We're here to help you fill out your documents. We're here to answer your questions. It's not that difficult. So if you're having issues of what should I name my trust and this, that, and everything else, and you're not getting answers through the peers, through the Telegram group, then schedule a consultation. We're here for you.
Absolutely. And look, don't take this personally, because we're sacrificing our personal time for you. And in order to do that, we have to start getting paid, because we can't help everybody with every little situation that everybody has, because there's thousands of you out there. And I know y'all don't realize that, because each individual thinks you are more important than everybody else. However, that's not the case, because everyone has an important story. Just there's only one of us, and we can't help everybody. It's you know, we do our best. That's why we're trying to teach people in bulk of what's going on. So thank you for being here. Part 13, Ann LeFlore on Trust. Leave a comment below. There's links to the other videos in this series in the description below. Like this video. If you like me and subject matter, whatever. Thumbs down if you don't. I'm cool with that too. Subscribe channel so you can look at all my other videos. Hit that notification bell so you know when we put out more videos just like this one. And share this video with God and everybody, even though it is copyrighted material. And again,
Guys, don't forget, he's spending his own time, his money, and he has to have these accounts. So send him a small donation, buy him a cup of coffee. I mean, $5 can't hurt.
Yeah, I had to do another subscription today. Actually, I did one yesterday for the store, for the website, and then I had to do another one today for the Calendly to upgrade it. Yeah, so you know, for long this stuff starts costing money, but you know, I don't mind as long as it's paying for itself. I'm cool with that, and I can grow. And the more I can grow, the more people that we can teach, more people we can come here and have educate, and that's what the whole goal is. All right, kids. Well,
I mean, $1 or $2, it can't hurt. I mean, small donations, everything helps.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be, believe me. And from a class, and I don't know if I've told Ann this or not, but I know I've told a couple of other people, a part of those proceeds that I received from my half of doing the facilitation for that class, I'm going to go out and do something charitable, and I don't know what that looks like yet. So when I do it, I'm going to record it, put it on the website, just so you know that, you know, 100% of your money doesn't come straight to me. It helps run this show based on the Wi-Fi, all the software that I have to use to, you know, make this thing look as it runs seamlessly. And I try to do, you know, that's pretty much where that goes. So,
Well, I remember you telling me that a long time ago when we started this.
yeah,
And so I took part of my proceeds and I donated them to 3 children in desperate need of clothes. And I gave them each $100. So I'm doing the same thing.
see, now look, there you go. What do y'all think about that? Is that not cool or what?
We're just looking in our communities, guys, because there's a lot of people around us. I go to the market sometime and people don't have enough money to buy a bag of rice and a piece of bread. So I always try to help them. So this is what we're trying to do with the money that we're making. We can't use the whole amount, but we can use parts of it. And we can try to help people who need in desperate need. That's
Yeah,
what it's all about, helping one another.
yeah, it's gonna grow. It's not gonna shrink, definitely. The homelessness and the pauperism, absolutely. Okay, well, let me get queued up over here. Part 13, all right. Oh yeah. Kind of think if you need to share and you don't. So,
Nope.
nope, that's 11.
Oh, wrong one. Finish that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I know I sent you part 13.
yeah, no, I have it queued up. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't understand why it's not popping up. There it is. All right. Okay, kids. Ann LeFlore on trust, part 13, powers and duties. Anything for opening on this one?
Well, we're just going to learn what our powers are and what our duties are as opening up our trust, being a trustee, and how we're going to operate in trust.
Oh yeah, there's been a bunch of questions on this topic right here. Who's who? Who's on first? Who's on second? Who's on third? Right? All right, panel 2, here we go. Powers of trustees. Trustee powers are divided into general, special, and discretionary. General powers are inherent powers and conferred by law. Special powers are all those conferred by the trust instrument. Discretionary powers are those that arise out of necessity of personal judgment by way of circumstances.
Okay, so trusts are set up. We give the orders of the trust, we write the trust, we take care of it. And inside the trust, we give the trustee his duties. We give him his, what would we call marching orders or whatever you want to call them, how he's going to operate the trust. I always think of them as like marching orders. Here's your orders. This is how you're going to work it. And this is what we do at the trust. So, and as we're operating in trust, we can end up with extra types of powers and extra types of orders. And a lot of times, everything is just not cut and dry. So a lot of times we have to use our discretion when we're operating in equity, and we have to operate in honor. So sometimes something might not be exactly black and white, it might be gray. So you have to use your own discretion when you make your decisions, how you're going to take care of it.
There you go. Panel 3, under declaration of trust. Under the declaration of trust, the trustee has all the powers necessary to carry out the obligations of a trust of a private contract which they have assumed. The trustee of an express trust are afforded greater powers and activities than ordinary trustees are afforded. The express trust trustees are empowered to control every aspect of the trust according to the trust instrument and equity. Trustees under express trust even have the power to eject the beneficiaries from the premises.
Yeah, believe it or not, express trusts are what corporations are using. They're all express contracts, express trust, but this type of a trust we're setting up is a revocable living express trust, which gives us the power. So say we're in a meeting and we have a meeting of the trustees, and it is possible the beneficiaries come to the meeting. It depends on you. You're the one who's, conducting this. If there's certain things the beneficiaries need to hear, then you can invite the beneficiaries to the meeting, or you can give them a copy of the meeting, of the notes, because that's their privilege to have it. So if a beneficiary walks into the meeting and he starts disrupting the meeting, when you decide that you are going to issue a certain amount of stock certificates to take care of a problem from the trust, and the beneficiary starts, saying, you can't do that, that's ours, and things like this, you do have the power to say, bye-bye, you need to go, unless you can be quiet.
Right? You got to go. Get to stepping. Here we go. Powers include, but not limited, the power to bind the trust in a contract, especially where such obligation is implied by law, and the power to contract with beneficiaries. The power to partition, exchange, sell, pledge, or mortgage the trust property, either in whole or in part. The power to lease trust property. The power to issue, change, or otherwise dispose of securities of the trust.
Okay, so once we start moving our things into our trust, we start moving our homes into our trust, we start moving our cars into the trust, we start moving boats into the trust. And we start acquiring more land. So say we want to gain more money for our trust. So we can lease from our trust with a lease contract. We can lease one of our properties to somebody else. We have such power. And when we lease this property through the trust, and we're leasing it through the trust, and the money that's paid goes directly back into the trust. So it's a really good idea. So consider that you are the grantor and the trustee of the trust, and you need a new car. So the trust purchases the car for you through the trust funds, and the car is moved into the trust. As a trustee, when you drive the car, you'll have the documentation for the trust to show that this is a trust vehicle while you're using it and operating it. And every time you use it and operate it, and you're performing something for the grantor, like going to the market, going to pick up something, this is all called trust business. So you're always performing trust business.
And there you have it. Powers included, but not limited to. Panel 5, power to support the beneficiaries in all reasonable manner. Power to prosecute and defend in the trust's name or trustee's name. Power to make gifts out of the trust property. Power to delegate all unessential powers and duties. Power to exercise personal judgment. Power of discretionary powers. Power to protect persons' natural rights. There's always a correlative duty in a trust. In all trusts, the trustee is the fiduciary who assumes certain basic duties that are outside of the management of trust property.
Okay, so let's say we have a beneficiary who is a minor child. And inside our trust, we have it set up that if the minor child needs something for school, or for example, they're turning 16, they need to take their driver's ed, they need to get their learner's permit, they need to take their behind the wheel, all this sort of stuff. We need to take care of these beneficiaries, especially if it's set up through our trust. So we would have to use our minutes to dispense some of the money that would go to a beneficiary, because this is part of what we do. We take care of the people of the trust, and we need to take care of the grantor. And if the grantor is set up that we need to take care of the minor beneficiaries who are minor children, then that's what we do.
Special duties. The duty to preserve, protect, and further the trust interests according to the purposes designated in the trust instrument. Take all available remedies and advantages in trust matters. Delegate unessential powers and duties. the duty to exercise at least a general supervision of the trust affairs. Trustees have the duty to keep minutes, records of the transactions, issue promissory notes, stock or trust certificate, handle bank accounts, and issue certification of trust.
Okay, so this is all what we've been getting into. Trusts have certifications or certifications of trust. This means that we have one document that is signed and notarized, and we can make copies of it and we can give it to banks. And the bank has to use that so that we can open up our bank accounts. We have a lot of duties to take care of. So say that we need to invest in something so that we can earn more money for our trust. We have to analyze the investment that we're doing. We have to do like a cost analysis. We have to do, like figure out if it's a good investment so we're not losing trust money. So we have a lot of responsibility to do as a trustee. But considering it's our trust and we're our trustee, we would be doing it anyhow in our normal day lives. So if we do it through the trust, we have a lot more protection.
There you have it. Panel 7. When you accept the trusteeship for the trust, you have the duty to secure and protect the trust property and the trust documents. If you invest the trust funds, you must invest them securely. It is your obligation to preserve the trust property and invest the funds and keep them intact so they will yield the current rate of interest to the life tenant. As a trustee, you must work with all co-trustees of the trust unless you are authorized to act individually.
So here we go again. We have a lot of duties. So we know we have a certain amount of money in our trust. We know we have a certain amount of property in our trust. So let's say the trust vehicle belongs to the trust and it needs an oil change. Then that's up to us to go make sure that the vehicle is always under maintenance. It's always got this oil change and it's always running correctly. Same with other things in the property. Same that, okay, say we need a new lawnmower. So we have to go out and purchase a lawnmower, and we do have to put that inside the trust, even though what I was telling you the other day, if it's garage saleable, we don't put it in the trust. But if it's bought through the trust, we will put that into the trust because that's trust property now, because we use trust funds to buy it. So then we will have the access to the, affairs that we purchase. We can also invest in all kinds of different things through our trust. And it just makes it a lot easier. We just need to, we always will have minutes, and we need a trust binder, you guys, something that has, like a class you used in school when you were in school, and you got from elementary school to, I guess they call it middle school now, and you had to visit 7 classes a day. We called it high school, I think it was. We were in a higher up, and then we, yeah. Well, we went from elementary to junior high, and then we got into the high school, the high area. What is that? Oh, it's your binder. Yes.
Trust binder.
Yes, and it has different sections in it. Wonderful.
Big fat warning on it.
Yes, that's important. It's protected by material that's in the trust. Very good. So you listened to me. That's excellent.
I make these. Yeah, I got a big badass stuff package.
Guys, hit them up on the classes,
I don't have it in the on the website yet, but it will be.
Yeah, but we can, people in classes, or actually, if you guys want something, there's a Fearless Floyd channel. Can hit it up on the channel. And we can get them to you.
Absolutely.
Binders are important, guys. You have to keep the information. And when you're driving trust vehicles, you have to have that binder with you. And you just have to show it's trust. And all you have to do is show the certificate. You don't have to show another thing inside that binder. So keep in mind, there's binders available, and it actually says trust material on it and warning. So it's good. You have one of these.
Yeah, like, then we gonna. Yeah, I keep everything in a binder, like this one, these are exemplified copies of court judgments. And then this is something you don't see all the time. I'll show everybody this while we're talking about trusts. And what's that say for the odometer?
Ooh, it's exempt.
And
You
what color is
must
that
have your
border?
dot.
What color is that border?
What is it, brown or is it
Gold.
red?
Gold.
Gold? Oh, it looks brown.
Mhm. This is my trust. Yeah, I'm sure.
Isn't this when you got the dot number for it?
No, this is when I re-registered my vehicle into my trust. Floyd Pleasant Tarvin.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Nice.
Uh-huh. And then my auto bond with my 21 pieces of silver. So you want to get deep into some trust stuff?
Guys, it's all important. We have all these bonds, these certificates, we have all this stuff we can create. It's so necessary to learn trust. That's where we're going, guys. We're always going to have this public and this private. You just need to learn how to pass through. Use your trust to pass through.
And get you some binders. I've got a safe full of these, believe me. That's where that one came from, actually. So, moving back on to, oh, I want to ask you a question about this. Life tenant right here in this third paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Life tenant, explain that.
Okay, so a lot of times you're going to see life tenant, like in a marriage or something like this, or they have life tenancy, you know, for property, or the life property tenancy. So a life tenant means the duration of your life. So that's what it's, you're have an interest to help the person during the duration of their life.
Okay.
Or during the duration of the life of the trust.
All right. All right. Privileges and liabilities. As a trustee, you will receive an allowance if it is written in the trust indenture. You have an unquestionable right to full compensation, including reimbursement of all out-of-pocket and other expenses incurred in the discharge of duties. The right to employ a solicitor for assistance and guidance in the administration of the trust. The right to apply to a court of equity for directions in the execution of the trust.
Well, believe it or not, trustees can make their own trust schedule fee. They can have a list of fees that they can charge for doing their duties. And a lot of times people are starting to understand that these trust fees are really important, especially if you're in court cases and you're a trustee in the court case. You can charge by minute, by half an hour, by quarter hour, by hour fees to the court for wasting your time. So it's pretty funny. It's absolutely hilarious. But, you know, like if we're doing trust affairs and we don't have the trust accounts with us and we have our own personal accounts and we pay for something, all we have to do is remember to get our receipts. The trust needs our receipts. And that's what the binders are for. They're to collect the receipts. The minutes and the ledgers are showing us how to dispense the receipts and what we need to do with them. So we always have to keep records of the trust in case there's any questions by the trustee that we are not acting in honor.
Okay. Moving on, panel 9. The right to carry on in separate business for the benefit of the trust given certain conditions. The allowance of the remuneration for loss of time under certain circumstances. The right not to be compelled by subpoena or review to produce and show records or books to outside parties. The right to relocate, move trust property, or change the trust domicile. The inalienable right to disclaim the office at the execution or resign at a later date. The right not to be compelled by subpoena or review to produce and show records or books to outside parties. We already covered that one.
Oh, well, maybe I doubled it up. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No big deal.
So, like, if you claim trust in the court case and they're saying, we want to see your trust documents, or if you go to the bank to open up a new trust, oh, we want to see your trust documents, your corpus of your trust. Just tell them, no, you can't see it. It's against the law. All you can show them is your certification that you have a trust. And in the certification, it lists the different things that the trustee can do, the different parts of the trust and what the trust does. So we can never be subpoenaed into a court system to prove we have a trust. And the only time our trust is actually seen is when we're dead, and if it has to go through probate, then the probate court has to see our trust. And our trust is like a will.
Okay. There you go. Number 10, with regard to the personal liabilities of a trustee, basically the inherent liabilities and non-liabilities are all those incident to ownership at law and imposed or exempted under contract law. For it is a maxim of law. Le contrat fait la loi. How bad did I not secure that?
I know it's almost like French, but it's stupid Latin. You know, if you say it like French, le contrat fait la loi.
That's some ugly, well, I mean, that's actually pretty for Latin.
Yeah, I mean, that's not so bad.
Well,
a little bit of a tongue twister.
Looks French to me. Anyway, liability on all contracts made, whether signing as trustee or signing individually. Liability of removal for breach of trust, waste, mismanagement, or good cause shown in an action. In an action for removal in a court of equity. Liability for losses sustained by the trust as a result of negligence. Liability for courts and common law, criminal and civil wrongs for acts of bad faith.
Okay, so let's take example. You have beneficiaries and you're the trustee, but you're not really the grantor of this trust. Or you inherited this trust because the grantor died. And now you have to take care of the trust. And you misuse this trust and you do some really bad things with it. There is remedy for it. Remedy in a court of equity. And you'll be responsible to repay it back. So there is a lot of cases, several that I know of right now going on that deal with trust and the trust and the grantor dying, and the appointed trustee literally violating all the trust contract and literally stealing money from the trust and, you know, doing some really ridiculous things with the trust. And it all is going to come out, and you just need to be careful because you think you're protected because it's a trust. You're not. If you don't act in honor, you will be going to jail, and they will be seizing everything of yours to reimburse that trust. It's just how it works.
There you go. All right. Now 11. Authorized representatives. Well, we know that guy well. It is well within the power and scope of a trustee to contract with a person as an authorized representative for the trust. The managing agent can be an attorney, a managing agent, attorney in fact, which will deal with certain affairs of the trust. In the courts of equity, there are certain rules laid down that give the trustee the power to contract with different agents that handle some or all of the affairs of the trust.
So guys, get it through your head. When you walk into court and you're there without a trust, you are not an authorized representative. I'm going to repeat, you are not an authorized representative. You can only be an authorized representative if the trust appoints you as one. If you don't have the documentation and it hasn't been filed, the form with the IRS, you're walking into court claiming you're somebody you're not. That's fraud. It's misrepresentation. So if you want to be an authorized representative, learn trust, learn how it works, do the paperwork, sign the documents, get them notarized, and get the papers from the IRS. Then when you claim authorized representative, they will look at you. But right now they're not looking at you because it's all smoke and mirrors, because you're not.
Alrighty. Panel 12. Normally, an authorized representative will handle the affairs of the trust that do not require discretion. The trustee may not delegate the essential part of the trust or the essential part of the power of the trust to another person. The only time this can happen is if the grantor has put this power in the trust indenture and has given the trustee the power to delegate such powers to another person. I'll read that again. Give me 1 second. The only time this can happen is if the grantor has put this power in the trust indenture and has given the trustee the power to delegate such power to another person. To be clear, there is law against a trustee delegating discretionary powers to an agent. The trustee must do this at his own discretion and his own peril because he is liable for all losses generated by the agent.
So when you delegate somebody to be an authorized representative, it sure will not be in a court case. You can delegate somebody to be an authorized representative to represent the trust, maybe in a small contract, or, you know, like maybe you need your house painted and you can delegate somebody to be the authorized representative for the trust to go out and get bids for your home to see which one you want to use. You can, you know, dedicate them to look for different things for your trust. But you shouldn't let them have the power to literally take over and say, okay, that I'm taking. They can only take bids, they can bring back bids, they can, you know, do certain things. Giving them a whole lot of power is like giving your power away. So you really don't want to do that.
All right. You definitely don't want to cede power because it more likely than not will not return into your hands. Panel 13. The trustee has the power to create a contract with an agent, and it can be a formal appointment. The trust will dictate the method in which the trustee has the right to contract with the agent. In some trusts, the trustee has the right to contract with an agent and give this agent limited power of attorney. Some trusts allow the trustee to create a verbal contract with an agent to engage their services. If the trustees generate a contract with an agent, the trustee must register the contract in the minutes of the trust. The contract must be an actual appointment that is written and outlines the specifics of the position of the agent.
Okay, so say that you need a website built, or you need to go hire 5 people to do your yard work, or, you know, it can be anything. So you would get an authorized representative. They would run the crew, they would operate the crew, they would come to you, they would give you the bill, you would pay the bill, they would be responsible for taking care of the payment for the people, things like this. These are the type of things you can delegate. So say, for example, you're not good at bookkeeping. You are terrible at mathematics. You are terrible at balancing the trust books. You could get an accountant. You can ask an accountant to come in and help you.
Yeah, the trust will pay for it.
Yeah, the trust pays for it.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's what you want to do anyway, and do a double blind accounting.
Right.
Mhm. If you have a lot.
If you're poor like us, you don't really need it.
What is an express trust? Here we go, kids. We're breaking it down now. Let me put it. All right. The trust is governed under equity. Trust law is the most well-settled body of law there is. That should be, the trust is governed under equity, and trust law is the most well-settled body of law there is.
That's correct, because it's the highest body of law.
Right. All
It
right.
is the top body of law.
Okay.
So you have the common law, but if you go into trust law, you're in a higher court. You're in a higher equity of law.
Okay.
And it goes under different rules. It goes under, yeah, it goes under the rules of trust. It goes under the rules of trust and equity. And
Awesome.
there's 10 maximums.
Okay. The trustee is the sole authority of the trust unless it is delegated to an agent or board of directors. The trustees are afforded more leverage and powers than corporate officers. Laws provide that any individual may do what the trust can do. In other words, the sky is the limit. The trustee's limited liability is outlined in the trust corpus or the trust indenture.
Okay, so when I'm saying this, I don't expect you guys to go and give all of your powers to a board of directors. That would be on the commercial side. So this type of a trust, we can engage in commercial, business through this trust. It allows us to do that. So it allows us to create our small companies. So like Floyd has a small company that he is branding. He can put this small company in this type of a trust. And then he can have a different type of a trustee who's operating through this small company to take care of it. We can create our own board of directors, which is our board of trustees. If we give away too much power of our trust, then we're giving away our trust, especially a revocable trust. We want to retain like at least 98% of the power of that trust. We do not want to give that power away.
Absolutely not. Better not. No, you give it away, you ain't getting it back. The lifespan of an express trust is 20 to 25 years. This avoids the rules against perpetuates. If the settlor or trustee dies, it has no effect on the life or affairs of the trust. There is a succession in power, and it is dealt with quietly and in private. A trust does not need a business license. The trustee is not required to file a report with any other entity. The trustee is only accountable to the beneficiaries that are governed under the principles of equity.
So basically, revocable trust, like say you're 20 years old and you set it up. It's good for 20 to 25 years. And when you reach 50, you probably are going to need to change it. And that's just the way it is. There is a lifespan in a revocable trust. Now, if we're looking at irrevocable trust, there is no lifespan.
Okay. Panel 16. In a trust, the business name is naturally protected by injunction. Trusts can also use a trade name or a trademark for the trust purposes with registration. All federal excise tax and state organization and franchise taxes are legally avoided. These types of trusts are not subject to foreign corporation laws of any state. They are not subject to commercial regulation except for income derived from corporate stocks and or physical franchises. Express trusts are a valid legal entity in all states of the union.
That's why corporations use express trust, guys. They're one of the best trusts to get rid of all these, laws, taxes, all this other stuff. Everybody passes their stuff through trust, and it avoids a lot of problems. So in an express trust, believe it or not, if you're working for a corporation and you're getting your paycheck, instead of putting it in a normal bank account, trusts have documents. We can literally seed our trust with our paychecks. And then that protects the money inside the trust. It moves it out of the public into the private.
There you go. All right, panel 17. Trust may function as an Article 4 citizen of the United States via its trustee and not 14th Amendment citizen. The citizen is understood in constitutional law as a private citizen. Trustees can issue certificates in the manner prescribed by the trust instrument. Certificate holders have no say in the administration of trust affairs. The interests of the beneficiaries are protected by equity. Beneficiaries have the right to secure information in the actions of the trustees and access to trust affairs. Unit of interest in the trust are not personal property of the certificate holders and carry no liability.
So remember, we were talking about we can issue certificates of trust. That just says that we're issuing this person so many certificates. We issue those usually to beneficiaries. So when we're gone and we die, then they know how much of a percentage of the trust they get. So if we have 6 beneficiaries and we want to split up the 100% or the 100 shares, we give each one a certain amount of shares. And when we're gone, they get to collect on that share. And each share is, dedicated with a certain amount of dollars. What I like about this is we've always been Article 4 citizens of the United States. Nobody realizes this. They try to put us under the 14th Amendment. Well, guess what? We do fall under the 14th Amendment as long as we are under the corporation trust, because corporation trusts are the 14th Amendment. But once we move into the private trust, we are Fourth Amendment Article 4 citizens. We are not 14th Amendment citizens. And in a trust, we don't have a title. We are a natural person. And it basically states so in every trust. We went over it yesterday with banking. You have to be a natural person to be in the trust. They can only give benefits to a natural person. If you want to go under titles and under things like this, those are fictitious. You don't exist. So just accept the fact. What?
What word did you just use? Those are what?
Fictitious. Fictitious names.
Fictitious. Okay.
Fictitious names. You're fictitious. Is that incorrect?
No, that's correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you don't want to be a fictitious person. You want to be a natural person.
You do. A natural born woman. That's Shania Hilshate. All right. Last but not least, panel 18. The power of an express trust. While a corporation can fail, but not so with an express trust, as they continue to be vital today. An express trust has the same powers of a corporation with the legislative requirements of registration in order for the powers to be activated. Some of the shrewdest, wealthiest individuals understand the advantages and powers of an express trust. There is no lawful method by which to piece together, let me rephrase that. There is no lawful method by which to pierce the trust without the express permission or implied consent of the trustee.
Guys, express trust is the way to go. Write your revocable living express trust. Put it in your title. Use your name. These trusts are considered a gateway or a passage from the private into the public. So this is one trust has got to be made up of whatever your name is on that birth certificate and however you want to identify it at the end, but it does and should say revocable. It has to say that. It has to say trust. Now you can put revocable living express trust. You can put revocable trust. You can put living revocable trust. You can name it anything you want. It's your prerogative. I mean, people are asking me, what should I name my trust? I don't know. It's not mine. You'd have to name it yourself. So figure it out, guys. You can put as many names in it as you want, and that's what the trust will be. It will literally be the trust that is passing from the public side into the private side, where you're going to be the private banker. And you don't need to be a private banker. You don't need to be all of those things that they keep telling you have to be. All you need to do is run a trust.
That you do. Just run the trust. Okay. See, I was going to make a comment. What was I forget what I was going to say. You're talking about the trust. Anyway, okay. That is part 13 in the can. Another one down.
So what does that leave us? 11 left to go?
11, yeah, 11 more to go.
We're halfway done, guys. We're on the downhill swing.
Yeah.
We're on the countdown.
Downhill. Did you hear that? Downhill, kids. I know.
You had to reach the plateau to come up. Now we get
Everybody's still looking up, Ann. Really? 11 more?
No, we get to count backwards now.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't high school, kids.
It's like when people get to be, what was it? When everybody said they turned 30, they were going to start counting backwards. That's kind of hard to do. Maybe you should wait till you're 60 to start counting backwards.
Just be stuck on 30, I guess, forever.
Why not? We're always young at heart. It depends on us. Yeah, it all depends on us, guys.
Yeah. Let me share a screen one more time. For all of y'all still paying attention, this is the website, fearlessfloydshow.com. It's the landing page. When you put that in there, and all you gotta do is just scroll to the very bottom. And here's all the
guys, do you know what purple means? It means royalty.
Yeah. Classes.
I guess that's why he chose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, purple and gold and white.
Yep.
White for the purity, gold for the strength and electricity, that represents with the lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then each of my bands and my flag, you can, you really can't see it because it's so small. But in between the white and purple and the stripes is interwoven with gold thread. You just can't see it.
Whoa, so you guys are on a royalty shop. Come shop with royalty.
Yeah, well, I made my own flag. I mean, I do my own stuff. So a lot of people can't, they don't have the talent to do that. So anyway, here's where it is. If you want to do a consultation with Ann, she's right down here. And the reason I chose blue for Ann is because she's out there in those beautiful blue waters. I know she is.
Our skies are blue too. And we don't have all those chemtrails around. Right. And we don't have airplanes flying in and out constantly.
Yeah, right. And then some more consultations. And
plus, he knew blue was my favorite color.
There you go. Yeah, this will grow. There'll be more classes, more consultations, more people to interact with. We all know who that is. Hey, Chris, where's my bins, baby? And that's what it looks like. All right, kids. Tell everybody thank you again for the graciousness to host another.
Maruru tumong.
Ann
Maruru.
LeFlore, appreciate it. All right, Ann, thank you
Ale.
again. All right, kid,
Bye-bye.
that one's in the can, number 13. As we wave bye-bye to Ann. Like I said, wave bye-bye. I just have Parkinson's. I'm not waving. I'm kidding. I don't have Parkinson's. All right. Like, subscribe, notification, share the video, leave a comment below. Description. There's links to the other videos in this series, I think 1 through 7. This is a 24-part series. The fearlessfloydshow.com. I'm on Telegram, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube. Come hang out with us. Come kick it. Come tell us your stories. See what you got. Come share. Appreciate you. Fearless Floyd Show on Telegram at yahoo.com. Come visit me on the website. It's growing. I'm trying on it every day. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. My heart goes out to you for putting up with me.